Come on. Boy, my screen won't let me come back in.
Okay.
Hello. All right, let's go. I don't know what. Let's switch over to this camera. At least I'll do it from down here. This is weird.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't see me, did you?
No.
That's bizarre. All right, well, I'll do it from this camera. Hey, everybody. It's Thursday night. Time for Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay. I'm your one host, Vegas Jay.
And I'm Irish Nay.
Hey, Nay, what's happening? And why are you Irish Nay?
Because I am legitimately half Irish from my great-grandmother came from County Cork, Ireland, and my grandmother was a first-generation American. So, and on my father's side, I'm all German. So I'm actually half Irish, but very proud of my Irish side.
Oh, there we go. Fixed it. There we go. And I'm a little bit Irish, just a little bit. I got my my dive bar T-shirt, Irish pub shirt on, and I am ready for the festivities. So let's get right into it because it is a holiday.
Okay. Did we lose you? No, you're doing your TikTok. Okay, we're good.
Yep. Time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Now, I don't have any green rum. I'm surprised I have blue rum because rum typically does not come in colors. But what I did find, and I had not drank this on the show yet, is the Plantation Rum Grand Reserve from Barbados, and it has a green netting around it. So this is as close as I get to Irish rum. So that's my rum tonight, and I got a badass green mug. Here is my green mug for tonight. Have I done this mug before?
Oh.
With a big eyeball?
I don't think so. I don't remember that mug.
Let me have a little sip here.
But apparently I don't watch our show, so according to you.
So this is from Viva Las Vegas, and this is the big rockabilly event that happens in Vegas every year. And so this is from Viva Las Vegas 9. So if you find this mug, you can sell for good money. And I forgot, our guest is hanging out down here. She's going to give a wave. This is our guest tonight. This is Carly Jean. She is a single mother of 4, and she's going to tell us all about how she does what she does. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes.
All right, cool. So we're going to say goodbye to Carly for a little while. We'll get into our segments, and we'll see her in a little bit.
And I have the, I am being festive tonight, so with my favorite Irish drink.
There you go. So we got both our Irish drinks going on.
Yes.
And let's see here. Yep. There we go. Okay. Now we're back on track. Now that everything's working, supposedly, in theory, let's get right to it. Tiki time is over, and now it is time for...
Yes. Here we go.
Time for Nay's breast cancer update and fact of the week.
Okay. I don't know where to start this time. Let me just say that I've been on a roller coaster. Those of you who are close friends with me will know that I've had a really rough week, emotionally and physically. More emotionally this week. It's just, you know, it's hard. There's so many things that you think of when you have cancer, when you're dealing with it. There's the financial aspect, there's the physical aspect, there's there's a lot of anger involved, there's a lot of feelings involved, there's a lot of, sometimes you can feel hopeless, and sometimes you just get so angry you just want to punch something. And all of these, I know that all of these emotions are normal, but I just want to thank all of my friends and my family for putting up with me through my my tough times, because it can get really rough sometimes, and I think that's normal. And I think anyone that is dealing with anyone in their life that has cancer should know, give them some slack, that you don't always have to be, Miss Boxing Gloves fighter, and it's not always like that. You're going to have bad days, you're going to have good days, and the bad days are all normal. Feeling all of these emotions and whatnot, it's all normal, and it's all part of moving ahead and fighting it. I'm not giving up, but I do have some rough days, and that's okay. And I will be having my next surgery on March 29th. It's coming up soon. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm going to move on ahead with it. And it will be a rough surgery, but I have to get a hole fix and some other things. And this time I will be my legs will be affected by this surgery as well. So it's going to be a little tough with the recovery, but I'm ready to bring it on and keep moving ahead. So
It's my girl.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And now it is time for the scores of the week, brought to you by WorthPoint. All right, let me get the scores up here. I shrunk them. And we're actually gonna talk about one of my scores because it ensued an argument before we went on the air.
I'm right, but
All right. But we will start with yours, so here we go.
Okay.
These are Nay's scores.
okay. I don't see my first score up there, so if it's up there, then
It is. Click on it.
okay. Okay, got it. It's the sneaker. It's the shoes that. Okay, so Jay said that my picture isn't exciting enough, and he's probably right. You know, I was trying to list a bunch of shoes at once while on my couch, so I didn't Photoshop my pictures. I just kind of, got them in there and listed them. And this was a batch of shoes that I had, Jay and I, when we were at Philly AIDS Thrift back in February, we had done a little competition. He thrifted a bunch of purses. I did a bunch of shoes. I paid $2 for these shoes, and these are my first shoes from that little competition that sold. So I paid $2, and they sold for $26.95, free shipping, and they fit in that padded flat rate envelope. So
Nice. All right, score number 2.
yes, this is a vintage mid-century needlepoint tapestry purse. It was adorable. It was so cute. And I had it up for $59.99, and I kept getting offers from between $30 and $40, and I didn't want to take something that low. But it was a tiny purse, and I started looking at some of the comparables, and I realized that, around $40, $45 would be a decent price to take. So I went back and forth with the last person that offered me. They started off at 40. I countered at 50. They went to it was like 43. I went to 48, and we settled at 45. So I said fine. And it's going to China actually. It's going to Hong Kong, to a buyer in Hong Kong, and it actually went GSP. So I shipped it to Kentucky in a padded flat rate envelope. It's a small purse, so it went padded flat rate to Kentucky, and then after it goes from Kentucky to Hong Kong, it's all on GSP. So they actually spent, I think, $70-something total with shipping. So
Cool.
And I have more wallpaper borders. These are kind of a score because they haven't been sitting around that long, and I know that I paid 50 cents a piece for them and sold them for $14.95, and they went first class. So that's, easy.
Yep, easy peasy.
Mm-hmm. And this is a score because it went to our very special viewer, Henry. Henry bought this pattern from me. So I just wanted to shout out to Henry and say thank you for purchasing that from me. Anytime I sell something to a friend or a viewer, it's always a score. So thank you, Henry.
All right, let's get into my scores. This is a CD that doesn't sell fast, but always sells. The first time I ever bought it, I'm married to a nice Jewish girl, so bagels and bongos kind of intrigued me. And I just sold this one I had for $25. And I think over the past 6 or 7 years, I've sold 8 or 10 copies of this. So if you ever see the Irving Fields Trio bagels and bongos, and you can pick it up rather cheap, you can usually get 25. If you find it new, the cheapest new one is 65. So check it out. And then continuing on from last week's ink sales, here's this week's ink sales. 2 Epson 48 color ink. I sold that for $80. I picked those up for 2 apiece at a thrift store. And
you sold for $79.99? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, then here's my score we're arguing about.
I'm right. All right, people in the chat.
All right, hang on. I'll let you get your say. Let me tell my score first.
All right, go ahead.
All right, these are badass vintage Roper 80s jeans. Look at these jeans. Acid wash, teal blue, the whole works. Now, Nadine says size 11 is juniors, but I disagree since the inseam is 36. Now, for those of you who aren't real tall, I'm 6'5", and my inseam is 32. This woman had a 3-foot inseam. Holy moly. So that's a tall woman, and the waist was 30. So there ain't no junior with a waist of 30 and an inseam of 36.
Okay. Inseam doesn't matter in this case. The number is, it's a junior size. Yes, it's a tall junior size, but 11 is definitely juniors, not women's. Odd sizes up through 11 are juniors, not women's. Always, period. That's the rule.
All right, well, the chat, the ladies in the chat are seeming to be siding with you.
Thank you.
I want to see a junior who has a 30 waist and a 36 inseam. I want
the
to see
30 waist goes. The 30 waist goes with the junior size. If you think about it, that's not a big waist. The inseam is just a tall. It means it's a tall juniors. It's just a tall. But
now
it's
this
still
is
a junior
80s
size.
cowboy pants. Maybe they did it different in the 80s.
Still a junior size though. Absolutely.
All right, all right. How did I lose this?
Because I know my women's clothes.
Well, let's hope my customer's happy, because I didn't list it as juniors. That's
should have been listed in the juniors category. Yes.
All right, we did our scores. Now,
Tall junior size. Yes.
it is time for our duds of the week. Let our mistakes not be yours.
Look at all those agreeing people coming in.
Yeah. I figured out I lost. Okay, I got it. Thanks, everyone. Back to chatting. I'm wrong. I got it. I got it. All right, here's our duds. Apparently, this is a dud because I listed it wrong. Okay. All right. All right, there's your dud.
Oh gosh, that was a horrible dud. First of all, my picture is horrible, and that's probably why it didn't. But it's also, I finally got rid of it. It's been around forever. I didn't even change the holiday from like 2 years ago, and I finally sold it. I was thrilled, and it's coming back to me now. I just got the message. Can I return it? It doesn't fit. Just because it doesn't fit. But I was so happy to get rid of it finally, and it doesn't fit. So I got it back. So I think what I'm going to do is change my keywords, take off the holiday. It is kind of holiday-ish and velour. And I'm going to get a better picture because it really doesn't, that picture does not do it justice. It's got pretty rhinestones along the collar and whatnot. And it's new with tags. It's Carol Little. So I think if I vamp up my pictures a little and change my keywords, I can probably get the $34.99 for it that I originally wanted. But I was so happy to see it go, and now it's coming back to me. So.
All right, and now, if those of you who watched last week's episode, this was my dud, and it's sold. But the person it sold to, the name didn't ring familiar. Didn't seem like anybody in our group. Didn't seem like any of you viewers, based on the chat. Could be. But I did write a note. Thanks for watching Thrifty Business with J&A. So if this just sold by accident, that person's going to be like, what the hell? What is Thrifty Business with J&A?
Maybe they'll Google it and they'll become a fan.
So if you are watching and you're in the chat and you bought this, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. But so my dud last week sold, so it's not really a dud because it finally sold. And here's a dud that I thought would be really super cool. Really super cool. I bought this on season 2 of Thrift Hunters, and it's a Yesco t-shirt. Now I'm guessing nobody knows what Yesco is, but Yesco is the company that makes all the signs in Las Vegas. They've been in business for over 100 years, and they were geniuses 100 years ago. They decided to only lease the signs to the casinos. They don't sell them. So when they're done, they get them back to do whatever they please, and that's how the Neon Graveyard was built, and that's where we filmed the opening sequence to Thrift Hunters. So I thought a vintage Yesco shirt would be kind of cool. Apparently not, because it sat in my store for almost 2 years, and it finally sold for $15. So, it's gone. So I'm happy. You take $15 over nothing. I will take it. It is better than throwing it away, right, Nay?
Yes, I agree, definitely.
All right, we showed you our scores. We showed you our duds. Now it's time. For close encounters of the thrifty kind. I'll let you go first, Nate, because I got to set something up.
Okay, do you have my picture?
Oh, I got a picture, too. That's why I was going to let you go first.
You got to get my picture, too.
All right, hang on. Which one's yours?
My picture is that smoke thingy.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
So start talking, and I'll have it up in a second.
So I was at Goodwill. I decided to do some, I'll say retail therapy, thrifting therapy, because I was feeling a little down about, cancer and everything, and I had just come from a doctor's appointment, and I was sick of going to doctor's appointments, so I thought, I'm going to go thrifting. I'm just going to go to Goodwill, see if I can get my thrifty encounter, my tip, and I did. And I bought a few things. I did find a few good things, but not much. I hit some women's shoes that were pretty awesome. But
did you find some Junior's jeans?
Yeah.
I
Always remember that, though, odd sizes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was this woman that I was walking by. I was looking at the dresses, and the dresses are along one wall, and there's kind of the appliances are kind of over a little bit from the dresses, but she had obviously picked this thing up from the appliance section, and she had plugged it into an outlet that was by the dresses, and she had a very raspy voice, and she was kind of just a character. I don't know how else to put it. So she said to me, hey, and in her raspy voice, she said, hey, check this out. Isn't this awesome? And I'm looking, and she plugs it in, and she goes, look, it works. It sucks out the smoke. And she was obviously a heavy smoker, and it was one of those smoke machines that I guess takes the smoke fume. It was just like that. It was something very similar to that. So I guess like you put your cigarette in there, and it's an ashtray, and it just kind of sucks out the odor. But she herself reeked of smoke. I could tell she was a heavy smoker, and I just said, oh, that's great, I'm not a smoker, but, and I just kind of smiled and walked away. But the funniest part was that as I was looking through the dresses, she was still standing there with her, with it, and was plugged in and all, and she catches this guy that walks by, and she goes, isn't this awesome? Look, it's an ashtray, and it grabs the smoke. And he, instead of saying, oh, yeah, that's great, and walking away like I did, he was fascinated with it too. So apparently he was also a heavy smoker, and they were just chatting about this thing and how wonderful it is. And I don't know if one of them bought it or if they ended up fighting over it or what happened, but I just kind of moved on in the dresses, and they were really fascinated with this smoke grabber machine. Which,
boy, she was just excited by that.
She was very excited by it. Yes, it was pretty fun.
All right, so my thrifty encounter, close encounter of the thrifty kind. If any of you know, I sold my whole booth at my antique mall this past week, and the girl who bought it from me is in the thrifting board, and she was vending at a little swap meet Saturday, so we went over to the swap meet to see if anything else was good there, and when I pulled up to her booth, boy, did it look familiar. So my thrifty encounter was with all my old stuff.
That's funny.
She didn't bring anything of her own stock. I mean, granted, this is her stock now, but she goes, well, I decided not to even unpack my van, so this is my entire booth with my price tags on it for sale in the parking lot. So my thrifty encounter was with myself, kind of.
Awesome.
And
I hope she did well.
Yeah, I haven't asked her yet, but, I actually was walking behind something that I sold that was one of the things that I sold to her, so it was kind of funny.
That's really cool.
All right, we did our close encounters, and now it is time for our thrifty tips of the week.
So mine comes with pictures too.
Yep, I'll do mine first. I'll get your pictures up.
Thank you.
So mine is, if you go to a flea market that costs money to get in early, sneak in the back door. We did that by accident, and we all saved $5. We went to the flea market at the Silverton Casino, and we parked in the back knowing it would be a shorter walk to get into it. And the thing was supposed to open at 6:30. We got there at 6:15. As we were heading to the line, I stopped and saw something that I really liked that I'm going to show you in a minute. And we shopped at this booth, and my buddy Ryan goes, hey, I just think we're in. Like, we didn't pay or nothing. We're just in. And we can see the people in line who haven't been let in yet, but we're already shopping. So my tip is, if you can accidentally sneak in the back, sneak in the back. Now, what I found, and I meant to show it on the haul, and I forgot to show it. If you've been watching our show, you know one of my tips was to, when you find something missing a piece, call the company for the piece. I did 2 designs by Ellen Clocks a
Mhm.
few episodes back. I was missing the pendulum. The pendulums are $8. I bought the pendulum, each pendulum. I sold the clocks for like $50. So the first thing I found when we snuck in is an Allen Designs clock with the pendulum, and this whole thing was $8. So, seeing how the pendulum itself is $8, I think I got a pretty sweet deal.
Good job.
All right, so I got your pictures all ready to go for your thrifty tip, so here you go.
Okay, so my thrifty tip is, if you see something in the thrift store and your intuition says, wow, that's really awesome, and I think I have a good deal here, and I think I should buy it, always check your smartphone, A. And B, if there's an abundance of something, sometimes it is, you just stepped into it and it's good. But if there is an abundance of the same thing, also question it in your head, why is there an abundance? Is there an abundance because someone else couldn't sell it, so they needed to get rid of it? In this case, the answer was yes. So there were about probably 100 of these awesome-looking hand-painted silk ties. They all had to do with the zodiac signs, and they had I could have listed, they were 99 cents a piece, new with tags. I could have listed them multi-variation, and I'm thinking, wow, if I can pay 99 cents a piece, get all 12 variations and list them as multi-variation, I'm going to have, $20 a tie. I'm going to make them in here. But I thought let me look at these up on my smartphone, and sure enough, the live listings, people were trying to sell them for about $20. Some people had them down to $6.50, and then when I looked at the completed, I saw that an entire lot of them went for $7.50, and another one went for $6.50. So apparently these ties, although they look awesome and they were new with tags, they're big duds. So
they are big duds.
They are big duds.
Gigantic duds.
So I ran the other way. I didn't buy any of the ties, and that just goes to show, A, always look up in your smartphone, and again, if there's an abundance of something in a thrift store, there may be a good reason why somebody dumped off their whole entire lot of them.
All right, now it is time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me, where Nay and I give you shipping tips. I usually show you what not to do based on packages I've got in the mail, and Nay usually shows you what to do. Well, I'm going to show you what not to do, and it's me. I made the mistake. So I got a Zebra printer, which is a thermal printer, and they're awesome. We'll talk about that in the near future. This is the size roll that I needed for my thermal printer. This is what I ordered by accident. Okay, so when you're ordering
roll of toilet paper versus a giant roll of toilet paper.
So when ordering labels, make sure you pay attention to the sizes, because you'll end up with this, which you can't do anything with. And I'm so silly, I still open the Zebra going, does this fit in there somehow? Nope, but this does. And then I got a little bonus tip. You do not have to do overkill when you ship things. I am going to Orlando on Saturday to speak at the Scam Power Conference. I got this sweet Primo hat for pool time. And this is a cloth bucket hat that could be just go into a very small poly. Nothing to break, nothing to damage. And this hat showed up in this box with this packing material and these air pillows. Way overkill. He did not have to spend the amount of money he spent on shipping when it could have went into a poly mailer. And the funny thing was, I left him great glowing feedback. He messaged me right before he went on the air, and he goes, yeah, I had a hard time finding the box. I didn't want the hat to get damaged. What? Now, great seller. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying there's nothing to damage in a cloth hat. Nothing at all. So, but thank you. Thank you, seller. I love my hat. It'll be cute by the pool.
Okay, first of all, your mom asked me to show my nails, so.
Okay. Oh, and somebody asked if your top was thrifted way earlier.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
I'll get to that in our next in one of our segments that were. So can everybody see my? Yes.
Very nice.
All right, and my toes match too. So. Okay, so my shipping tip is something that Jay told me. I had sent him a package a couple weeks ago, and he yelled at me for over-taping. So my tip is not to over-tape. If you're going to use one of these padded flat rates, you don't need to tape down the flap. It stays. It's pretty sticky. It's good. And I do that sometimes. And then for his, I was probably a little overly tapey because I wanted everything to get there, solid and all that. You don't have to tape around. You don't have to use any extra tape. It's a waste of tape. And don't tape your labels. We know that I have been guilty of that in the past. And you'll be happy to know, Jay, that I did just order another batch of labels. So
there you go.
Be,
but yeah, you can tape the seal. And sometimes when we all put big stuff in there, that's not a bad idea.
Tension on it, like if it's popping like this, it's good to put a piece of tape there, but you don't always have to do that. And that was my microphone.
Easy on the microphone. we were going so good. What happened?
Okay, I'll try to delicately put it back.
All right, while you're doing that,
okay,
we will get on to our viewer 2-minute topic of the week.
Mm-hmm.
This week, our topic is from our own lifeguard at the thrifting board, Bridget Lamore Williams. Thank you, Bridget. On average, how many items can you list in an hour, a day? How long does the average item take to list? What items do you find to be faster to list? And what items do you find to be more time-consuming? That's a lot of questions for 60 seconds is all I got to say. So you better hit all of them, girlfriend.
Okay.
All right, let me get the timer all set up. And you're off.
It depends. I can list if it's sewing patterns or something that doesn't require a lot of thought and and it's kind of an automated thing. I can list probably 15 to 20 in an hour. However, I am a slow lister. I'm slower than normal people, so I need to work on that. I need to get faster. I do tend to spend more time on my photos. I do, the measurements because I do a lot of clothing and whatnot. So I would say on a good day, I can list right now, especially with the way I'm feeling, I can list 10 items a day. Before I was sick and, and everything was normal, I could probably do, the most I've ever done probably was maybe 10 in an hour, but now I can do an average of 10 a day. So I've slowed down a lot, but, my listings are better and I probably need to pick up the pace a little, though. So I don't have anything else to say, so we still have...
All right. I got nothing else to say.
I don't know what else.
I'm done.
That's about it.
All right. All right, so I usually have an assistant. I'm assistantless right now. I actually had an assistant this week for 4 hours. Different story for a different day. But... so when I list, I don't tend to go straight through. So I'll take pictures for like a full day, and then I'll sit down and list. But lately, I just haven't had time to get to like the photo studio. So I've been listing a lot of small things that are easy to do with the iPhone and from any desktop. So I listen to a lot of media, and media can go really quick because most media, when you plug in the barcode, eBay will pre-populate all the information for you. So all you got to do is pick your price, pick your condition, and off you go. So I do a lot of CDs, DVDs. I've been working on my cassettes. I got some videos to list, so that's what I prefer to list, and that's easy to sit on the couch with your honey and your doggies and list quickly. What takes a long time is clothing, and I sell a lot of it, but you got to get the measurements, you got to take all the angles, and so as soon as I get a new assistant, they're going to do a lot of clothes because I just don't have the time, but I will keep doing my smalls. Nice.
Yeah, I list so many clothes that the measurements always slow me down.
All right, so our last segment of the day.
Oops. Our new segment.
Yep. Is thrift up your life? Now, look, we all thrift to resell, but sometimes you got to stop and smell the roses and remember to buy stuff for yourself, too. So we will go to Nadine. I think she thrifted that beer in her hand.
No, I did not. I did not find Guinness at Goodwill.
Hey, we actually saw beer at the flea market.
That's interesting.
Go ahead.
At a flea market, not at a Goodwill. So when I was at the Goodwill, I guess it was yesterday or the day before. I guess it was on Tuesday when I did my little thrifting therapy. I did find this awesome scrub shirt for tonight. It was in the scrub section. It was half off. It was $1.50, and I thought, how perfect for the show. And you know what? It's really, really comfy. So I'll be wearing it for a jammy top from now on. So it fits me perfect. And I also thrifted. This was half off, and I got this for myself too. So.
Oh, nice.
Kind of a cool shirt for summer. like a tunic top. So there you go. And I think I paid $199 for that one. So good deals.
All right. Now I usually show things that I have thrifted just for myself and to keep or use around the house. But there are 3 things you could be thrifting for: yourself or your family or whatever, stuff to sell, or stuff that'll make a difference. So here in Vegas, there is a pug rescue called Southern Nevada Pug Rescue, and these are the most selfless people I've ever met in my life. They take in any pug in any condition, and this week alone they took in 8, and that's not normal. And one had been run over by a car, and his owner abandoned him.
Oh.
And so, of course, they always need money. And one of the things they do throughout the years, they have a couple auctions where there's a Facebook page, and we put up all of us donate cool stuff, and 100% of the proceeds go to the rescue. And so when I find pug stuff that isn't 3X or small or medium for my wife, so something in the middle, that goes into a pile, and then the pile goes to the auction. So I found this thrifting last week, and the auction starts next week. So the Thrift Up Your Life thing I'm showing this week is this awesome pug shirt. And it says Pug Life.
Wow.
So this will go up for auction, and we'll probably get $20-25 for it, and all the proceeds will go to help that poor little puggy that got run over.
Aww.
So I try and raise money for 3 things throughout the year: Wounded Warriors, breast cancer, obviously, and the pugs in Vegas who got a shit deal in life, and we're going to try and make their life a little better. All right, before we get into our guest, we promised you the most awesome thing. I sent Nadine the most wonderful gift, and she was going to open it tonight, but she can't, and here's why. No matter what you guess, you would never guess this.
No, this is pretty crazy.
I'm in Vegas, Nadine's in Philly, and my package from me to her is on vacation, and somehow it's in Honolulu. So Nadine has not opened this package tonight because neither of us are in Honolulu.
No,
so
it's on vacation.
Yes. So hopefully this gets back to Nadine before next week's show. Hopefully it shows up with a Mai Tai and a lay and some macadamia
nuts.
That's
what I said. It's got to come back with wearing Ray-Bans, a little sunburn, with some macadamia nuts, a nice Hawaiian dress, something.
Yeah. So this is the nuttiest, unbelievable of all the things that I've ever sent in my life. The one thing I needed to be someplace really specifically was this item, because we teased it for the show, and now it's on vacation. And real quick, people were asking about the auction for the pug rescue. It'll go up, I think, this Saturday, so I will put it in the thrifting board and on my personal wall. So either friend me or follow me, and you will see it. So anybody that wants to buy, and it's all cool stuff. It's not just pug stuff. It'll be like dog beds and all kinds of cool stuff. So tune in there. All right, let's get our guest on.
Christine has to go. Good night, Christine.
Good night, Christine. Thank you for.
Your son feels better. I'm sorry.
All right, let's get our guest in here, and let me pop up her. What's happening? Oh, I have to share. There we go. There we go. Let's get our guest in here. Our guest of the week this week is Carly Jean. Let's give a round of applause to Carly. Hello, Carly.
Hey.
Hi, Carly.
Yay, your voice is matched up. Carly was having a little problem, technical difficulties earlier, but I think it's going to be great now. All right, let's give you a little volume here.
Okay.
How you doing tonight, Carly?
Doing good.
Oh, do I hear children?
Yes, you do.
Whose children do I hear?
Oh,
I thought it was Carly's. All right. But how apropos? Because why are we talking to Carly, Nay?
Because Carly is a single mom of 4, and she has supported her children on her online income alone, and we'd like to hear about that because that's pretty amazing.
Hey, Nay, tilt your microphone up.
Okay.
There you go. Now tighten it. You got real soft again because your microphone was pointed down.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's much better. Oh my God, you sound awesome. All right, so Carly's here because she is a single mom of 4. So tell us about how you handle all that, Carly. That seems like a lot.
It is a lot. I just kind of roll with the punches. I get up every day and just roll with the punches. I guess I would start by telling you guys that I started reselling about 4 years ago. I did it part-time to kind of make up for the cost of not working. I was a vet tech for many, many years, and after I had my fourth son, I really couldn't afford daycare costs anymore. So I took $100 to a garage sale, or to multiple garage sales, and picked up a bunch of stuff and got listing, and I probably put in about 15 hours that week, and I had made about $500 from my
Wow.
$100. So
Wow.
that started me about 4 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. About a year and a half ago, I started doing it full time. So I was married for a long time in a very unhealthy, toxic relationship. I woke up one day, I took my kids and my dogs, and I left everything. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I started listing more. Instead of 15 hours a week, I started doing 30, 40, and before I knew it, I was making more than I had ever made working in animal health care. So,
Wow. That's amazing.
yeah.
So how old are your children?
I have a 14 and a 12-year-old daughter and a 4 and a 6-year-old son.
Wow.
Yeah, so busy, busy, dealing with teenage girls and two busy little boys. So,
So,
yeah.
you know, we all know I don't have kids.
Yeah.
My kids are four-legged, and they're both sound asleep at my feet right now. But do your older two help you with the younger two?
Yeah. Right now they're out there keeping them in check so they don't come running through the door. So yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
They're a big help. I have really good kids, but considering everything that we've been through, I mean my kids they're great. So
Yeah, that's important. That's great. So, so what platforms do you sell on, and how did you get started?
well, I started selling on eBay probably 12 or 13 years ago. I had this huge jamboree addiction back in the day, and so I would buy and sell clothes on there. So I knew about eBay for a while. And I've always gone to garage sales. And like I said, when I wanted to stop working because I couldn't afford daycare anymore, I kind of put two and two together and just took a chance and went out one weekend, and that's what happened. So I've always I've always bought and sold on eBay, but I sell on eBay and a little on Poshmark. I do a lot of OfferUp for household items, and a little bit of Etsy. I just started dabbling in Etsy, so.
Wow.
So, hang on. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. What's OfferUp?
It's like an online garage sale site. So if I get, like, for instance, I found a KitchenAid mixer. Instead of trying to mail out a 50-pound KitchenAid mixer, I put it on OfferUp, and you just take a picture and people can respond, and you meet somewhere and just exchange the item and the money. So
is it kind of like an interactive Craigslist, so to speak?
Exactly, kind of like,
Okay.
yeah, just like that.
I don't have to do that because I got a couple big things right now. The one my wife's yelling at me at, and both of you ladies will totally understand this. I found a double stroller, like side by side. I can't remember the brand, but it's a really nice brand, and it's got like big knobby tires so you can go off road, and like maybe a jogging stroller. But man, I don't want to ship it, but I got to get it up on something so I can get it out of here because I call a lot of griefs like, are you ever gonna sell this?
Yeah.
Yeah, those take up a lot of room.
Then that'd be perfect. Yeah, I sold this. I bought a KitchenAid mixer for the lady wanted 20, and I talked her down to 15, and I sold it for 100 on OfferUp, and that's without any fee.
Wow.
I'll profit. So.
Oh, that's great.
All right, so hang on. I'm writing down OfferUp. I got to check that out.
Yeah, that's a great tip. So, yeah, that's great. So what is your niche? Would you say you have a niche, or what do you like to sell them?
It's closed,
Okay.
but I'm not afraid to take a chance. I mean, anything I can make a profit. I think I can make a profit. I'll chance it. Sometimes I go with my gut. You know, when you're at garage sales, you can't really look on your phone and determine, because I've had people get upset when they find out I'm a reseller and I'm at a garage sale. So I try not to do that. So I mean, but mostly I would say 75% of what I sell is mostly women's clothes.
Okay. So what is your biggest challenge? Would you say? I know you have some younger children as well. So, and I know I have a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 7-year-old. So it's challenging with the younger ones. Trying to manage your time and whatnot. So, I'm just curious how you manage your time and what's your biggest challenge as far as the kids go and being a single mom and juggling it all.
I'd say the biggest challenge is time management because there's always so much going on. I drop off at school and then I come home. I'll set my timer for 3 hours to list. And then I go pick up, make dinner, do homework, and then I try to set my timer for another 2 hours to finish.
Wow. So go back to that. You set your timer for...
Yes. If I don't set my timer, everything kind of gets away. It's my way of concentrating for, it keeps me grounded and so I can keep listing. And so after everything's wrapped up, after school, after dinner, after homework, I try my best to do another 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And then once everybody's in bed, I tend to do my shipping get everything ready to next morning.
So you kind of have a routine planned out, and I guess that helps rather than having kind of haphazard. But I love the timer tip. That's great.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it happens like that every day.
Right, right. I know kids are unpredictable. Things happen.
I think there's a misconception that people think because I work from home it's really easy, and it's not. You have to stay really, really disciplined when you're doing this because it's easy to get caught up with everything else going on. And you have to be really, really disciplined to do this.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, I just realized I have a 98-year-old and a 35-year-old.
Is that in dog years?
Yeah, that would be in dog years. Hey, I'm trying to jump in the conversation. You too.
I also have a 1-year-old dog who's just as much as a kid sometimes.
Yep.
Having a 4th child. So.
I have a 15-year-old dog who was attacked by my neighbor's dog, so I'm nursing her back home.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So.
Oh my goodness.
So hey, Carly, have you not sold ever on Amazon?
No, I haven't sold on Amazon. I've just been I don't know much about it, and I've done eBay for so long, it's just my comfort zone. So I'm thinking about it, though. I'm thinking about stepping out. I have a lot of books that...
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know, I mean, I don't know why people get so afraid, because I hear this quite a bit, because people hear me talk about my success of CDs, and they want to jump in, and I'm like, look, and I don't know what hoops you have to jump through if you join today, because I've been on forever. But it's very easy to do merchant fulfilled. You just plug in the barcode. It takes you right to the page you need. You give your price and your condition, and it's it. It's pretty easy. So if you're doing, easy stuff like books are very easy, CDs, stuff like that. Yeah, it's just another avenue. They don't charge a fee to list, so it can sit there forever. Their fees at the end are sometimes a tad higher. But you get a different customer, so you will find things that maybe sell on eBay for 10, sell on Amazon for 30, and it's weird, and vice versa. So I would definitely look into it as a good avenue to have.
I've seen that, and I've been collecting. I felt like books is a safe way to get started, so I've been collecting books to hopefully within the next month I'll send in my first shipment. So that's
you're going to FBA, huh?
Oh yeah.
You're going to skip right past merchant fulfill and go right to FBA.
Well, it's with 5 people in my house, 2 dogs, 2 cats. I'm just like, get it out of here if I can get it out of here.
Good point. Good point. I'm with you, girl. Good point.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you have for any women or men who are either thinking of venturing out on their own with their children, or they are divorced or widowed or whatever, and they're, single moms, single dads, and this is what they want to, do for their income? What advice would you give them to get started? And
my biggest tip when I have friends or family who ask me about getting started is just to get the hang of it. I would go through your house, do some spring cleaning. It's a perfect time right now. Just look through the things that you already have so you can get the hang of listing. And once you get the hang of a good listing and shipping and all that, then concentrate on where you're going to be sourcing at. For me, I live in Southern California. We have garage sales all year long. I can go out on a Saturday, there's 30 garage sales in my surrounding neighborhood. So I would say 95% of my sourcing comes from garage sales because I don't have a Goodwill outlet out here. And the thrift stores out here have kind of gotten hip to people reselling, so they charge pretty close to what you would probably pay on eBay for the good stuff. So discover where you're going to go sourcing, where you're going to get your product from, and then go from there and stay committed. If I go a day without listing, I notice my sales. You know, I'm in the process of moving, so I haven't been listing, you know, this week.
Absolutely right.
My sales have went completely down. So if you're going to do it, it has to be treated like a job. You know, the good thing is that, you know, if my daughter has a award ceremony, I can go to her award ceremony and then come back home and list, you know. So it's good in that aspect, but you still have to put in the work.
Yeah, and that way it's great because it's flexible for if you do have children, it's flexible. You can be there with your children, you can help with homework, you can be there for their activities and whatnot, and you don't have to worry about being committed to that 9 to 5 structured job. So that is perfect.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about you selling, let's hop over to your scores, because you sent me some scores like all our guests do, and one dud, which shocked me, but we'll talk about that. So let's show your scores here. So here we go. Your first score is these Nike hats.
Yes. I paid a quarter each. So
Whoa, a quarter. A whole quarter.
Yeah, a whole quarter at a garage sale. So, yeah, I paid.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's awesome.
And they sold for $40, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, we got this. Oops, let me scroll down here. This Husky Porcelain Dog by Nina Lyman Vase.
Okay, I paid. I was visiting my mom in Idaho, and I picked that up at a garage sale in Idaho for 50 cents.
That's beautiful. It's all hand painted too.
I brought it home with me, and it sat for a while. I got a couple really lowball offers, but I took a best offer of $35, and I think they paid for shipping. So.
50 cents. All right, so far we're in for a buck between these two items.
Wow, that's great.
Nice return. And then we have this Pokemon, which I thought was bigger until I looked at it. It's tiny.
It's tiny. Yeah, it's tiny. And that I paid 75 cents for. So.
Oh my God.
I was under $1. So, and that one I took a best offer of $28. So.
Nice.
Yeah, Pokemon's really, really good. I sold some vintage sheets, a sheet set. That sold for $60. So, out for vintage Pokemon.
So yeah, someone's asking for your ID, so I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can see it right here. Woo! Whoops.
Yeah.
Carly Trixie Dog 123. There's her name right there. So there you go, Cindy. If you would like to follow her, buy something for her. Speaking of, if you look down below right here, we have Nay Store, My Store, the Thrifting Board, the Thrifty Business fan page. So if you're looking for stuff like that, it's always right below here in the description, so you can easily find it. And then last, we have your one dud. Let me make it smaller now so we can see your dud.
Oh, I'm surprised that Lily Pulitzer is a dud.
Yeah, so I bought those at the Goodwill. I paid full price for them, which was $7.99. I took a chance because everybody says how much, how well they sell for. That I've relisted it twice, and I keep getting the same offer of $9.99 from the same woman. I've gotten that offer 3 times. So I don't know if it's the dresses or the more vibrant prints that sell really, really well, or if it's the fact that these are a smaller size. But yeah, this just was not a good one for me. I thought they would fly out of my store, and they didn't, sadly.
Yeah, usually horseshoes, like equestrian related sells well. It might be the size, lower sizes do.
I'm going to work on it, take some more pictures, and change the wording around. And
yeah, if you change your keywords a little bit and take, also if you take, sometimes with the lilies, I take a picture of the actual, just a close-up of the embroidery as the first picture. And sometimes that'll do it too. Just like yeah.
Hey, when's the Derby? Isn't that coming up in like a month or something?
The Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, so trying, you don't want to keyword spam Kentucky Derby, but horse race or something, lucky horseshoe pants.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of angles.
I think, yeah, and there are smaller shoppers too. I mean, usually my smaller women's sizes do take longer, but I just bought a Nina Ricci size 0 skirt that I'm about to list to my pile here, and I know it may take a little longer, but I know it'll sell because there are smaller shoppers, just like there's larger shoppers. So.
And I've learned tonight that since those were size 2, those were adult women pants.
They are.
Yes. If they were a size 1, what would they have been?
Oh, they'd be juniors. I've learned.
Thank you.
I've learned. All right.
So, Carly, do your kids help you to shop and source? Are they interested in it as well? Do they help you with your business?
My older daughters do. They take pictures for me. My 12-year-old will actually do a full listing. I just go back and read over it to make sure everything's correct. But she can do a whole listing by herself already. So my hope is
great
that when they go to college, this will be something that they can do instead of having to go out and work. This is something that they'll take with them to do to earn money while they're in college. So
that's fantastic.
Do you have to bribe them, or do they just help?
No, they just my girls are really, really good girls. They're really good. They help a lot, so no complaining.
That's great.
Unless it's cleaning their room. If it's cleaning their room, then maybe. But
yeah. I go through that with my boys, but I would love to teach. My older ones are only 6 and 7, but at some point I would love to have them help me with listing and stuff like that. Right now, all they do is if I buy anything that's anything that's a game or a child's toy, they just come and take it. So that's basically what.
And sometimes I'll let my sons keep it, and within 3 or 4 days they forget it's even there. So then I list it.
That's a good point.
So.
All right, so you are both moms. Let me ask you if you guys have ever done this, because I probably would, but I don't have kids, so I don't know. So we see things come and go that are hot online, and you go, oh, shit, my kid's got one of those. He ain't played with it for 3 days. I'm selling it. You ever do that?
Yes, I'm about to do that, actually. I know from our last episode we were talking about some of the toys that are popular, and I know my kids have some of those toys, so yeah, I need to read their toy box and see what they're not playing with, because they're not playing with everything.
And you, Carly, have you done that?
Yeah, my son went through this huge Skylander phase, and I just I was on eBay bidding on all these Skylanders, and 2 months later he just, they kind of sat in their Skylander box, so I pulled out the ones that I knew I could get a good return on, so he's a few Skylanders short.
Now, has your kids ever went, hey, Ma, where's my Skylander toy? And you're like, it's in Minnesota right now.
No. And I'm just like, I'm not sure. And they usually got it.
Yeah, they forget as fast as they remember, though. They'll move on to something else. So.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great that you got the kids involved, because I started my first job when I was 10, and I think it added to my work ethic to be working all that time. So, child labor laws be damned. I was working at my grandparents' restaurant at 10, so.
Yeah.
I have to say,
they learn value.
Go on.
So they learn value of money, and they learn how to earn it. And my wife and I have our retirement planned out, where we have it planned out to be working into retirement, but we have ideas for fun things to do, but it'll make us money. So I always see myself working at something, but something that I love. So when you work at something you love, it doesn't feel like work all that much.
Yeah.
And that's my little PSA for tonight. All right, so we got just a couple minutes left here. Let me do this, and I wondered if you had any bonus tips. You have a bonus tip for us?
Oh yeah.
I think my biggest bonus tip
of the week.
All right, well, hang on, hold that thought.
Okay.
Oh,
we don't have our music.
My sound effects worked all the way.
Oh no.
My sound effects worked all the way to the end tonight. What the hell?
That was kind of weak.
There we go.
Our bonus tip of the week brought to you by our guest, Carly.
I think my biggest sourcing tip would be, like I said, I'm in Southern California, so I go to a lot of garage sales. So if you're like me and you don't have any good thrift stores or any Goodwill outlets next to you or close to you, I would strongly suggest, even if you only have garage sales during the spring and summer, save some money each month and just buy as much inventory as you can. If you go to garage sale, lot it all together, show the person, hey, how much for all this stuff? If they tell you 30, tell them, would you take 20, 25? Just don't be afraid to barter, and you get some really, really good deals at garage sales. So.
Somebody wants me to ask you about Pokemon, but I don't. They just said, can you ask her about the Pokemon Nintendo?
Oh, you sold a Pokemon and Nintendo 64 for $250?
Yeah. I actually got that on OfferUp. I paid $75 for it. It came with all the games and the plugs, and the guy plugged it in for me to make sure it was working. And I picked it up for $75, and how much I sold it for, and it sold rather quickly within a few days.
So did you know, I take it?
Yeah, I did some research. When I saw it was listed, he actually wanted 100 for it, so I talked him down to 75, so there was, a little more room for profit, and so I did my research before I went and picked it up. So 75 is a pretty big investment for me. I get a lot of my stuff, like you saw, the $quarter. A lot of the stuff I get, I pay under $1 for. So that was a big investment for me, so I wanted to make sure it would sell.
That's good, though. That's a good point, because I know Jay brings that up a lot, that you have to sometimes spend money to make money, and it's good. It's nice to see that you're not afraid to do that as well. You pick up the 50-cent items that'll sell for $39.99, but you also know that sometimes you have to invest money to make money. So
yeah, definitely.
Now, when we brought you on, we wanted you to talk about, being a single mother of 4 and doing it. I didn't know you were going to be our OfferUp expert. Like, you're not only selling on there, you're buying and flipping. You're awesome. I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're close to the end, but I wanted to ask, when did you join us in the thrifting board, and how'd you find us?
I was on I had been on another thrifting board for about 6 months, and somebody posted the link. So I joined at somebody else's suggestion, but I don't remember who. And I also watched your TV show. So when I saw it was you, I was like, oh my gosh, I used to watch your TV show.
So let me just say that I found Carly from a post. One of our members had put a post on the board saying that she was afraid because her husband had just notified her that he wanted a divorce, and she was going through a really hard time, and she didn't know what to do next. She didn't know if she could make it work, just with her online selling. She didn't know where to turn, and Carly stepped in there and she said, "Hey, look at me. I'm a single mom of 4 and I've made it work. You can do it too." And that was so inspiring. So that's what caught the attention of my attention of Carly, and I was just like, wow. And I said to Jay, we have to have her on because this is so inspirational. She's telling this other member who's in a really tough spot in her life, look at me, I've done it, and it works, and I'm successful at it, and I have 4 children. So that was amazing. So I just wanted to say that Carly's story was very inspiring to me.
Well, thank you. And it's we were in a really, really bad position, and I would suggest, I hadn't worked outside the home in 3 years, and that's part of the reason what kept me in a very, very bad situation. And finally, I just went for it, and it was the best decision that I ever made. I'm happy, my kids are happy, I'm making money doing something that I love. So just if you want to do it, it's totally feasible. Once you get past the fear, it's totally feasible.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm sure there are a lot of women and men perhaps out there who are afraid, or in that position, are afraid. So thank you for giving, for offering your story and being so candid and inspirational. I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
Hey, Carly, I'm going to send you a picture of me standing up like this.
Okay.
So feel free when the boys come knocking for your daughters, and show them my picture and say, "This is Uncle Jay." And if you even make my daughters cry, Uncle Jay's coming to visit you.
Yeah, my daughters are very, very pretty girls. So I've had several people stop me and say, "You better get a shotgun."
Yeah. So you keep my picture handy, and like this is the man who will visit you if you make my daughters cry.
Okay.
I got to say, and I'm glad. So those of you who've been with me for quite a while, I had a different Facebook group with my partner from the show. We separated, and some of his ideals of things, the way he wanted things run, which I went with, I changed when I started the thrifting board. And one of them was to allow people to post success stories. We really didn't allow that in the other group. We didn't know why. He thought that was a bad thing, but had we not, we wouldn't have met Carly. We wouldn't hear all these great success stories. And it's not just single parents. It's all kinds of, oh, my God, I paid my electricity this month. I'm doing it, or I've made extra money to go on vacation. So it is so great to be part of the group, to lead the group with all the great members in it who are sharing their stories here. I'll do my Donald Trump. It's the best group on Facebook.
No,
We're the greatest group.
Do that. No.
We have
Please.
the greatest members. I can't do his accent, but it's true. So thank you, Carly. Thank you for sharing your story with us both here on the show and in the group, because it is, even though I'm not a single mother, it's very inspirational to see people who say, screw it, I can do it. And there's the motto, screw it, I can do it.
It inspires me too, you know, and with my own situation with having cancer and being a mom and whatnot, you're very inspirational to me too. So thank you for that.
Thank you guys for having me. This was so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, what a great show. It flew by. We had a huge live audience, so we will give that all the credit to you, Carly. Yes. 192. I think we were up at 198 at one point. So it's awesome. So thank you everyone who tuned in tonight. We do have a guest lined up for next week, but she might get bumped because I'm trying to get an even cooler, not cooler.
No.
Wait. I take that back.
Yeah, you just stumbled on your way.
Hang on. A more timely guest.
Yes.
So we'll leave it at that for now. But if not, she's super cool. I didn't mean it that way. I meant the other guest I'm working on is kind of timely. So you'll see if it pans out. But like I said, look down below if you want to join the thrifting board. It's down there. If you want to check out our fan page, it's down there. If you want to see my store or Nadine's store. And you need to get yourself an awesome T-shirt to go thrifting, because we are all in the same business. So being thrifty is our business. So here's our T-shirt that is on Amazon. And you need that when you go to the thrift store. So down below also is the link to that T-shirt. We bring you this show free of charge. So if you get a second, grab a T-shirt. That'll help us out, and we would be very appreciative. So thank you, Carly, for being an awesome guest. Thank you, Nadine, for being an awesome co-host. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, my mommy, for birthing me, because I know you're here tonight.
Yes, we love you, Peggy.
And I will be in Orlando starting Saturday night. I'll be talking at the Scam Power Conference, but I will be back in time for the episode next week. So no haul video between now and then, because I'll be at a pool in Orlando talking. So thank you, Carly, very much. Have a good evening. And Nadine, you can send us out of here.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And thank you again, Carly. And thank you, Jay, for being my awesome co-host and such a good friend. And thank you to all our viewers. Good night.
Yeah.